Okay, I'd like to call to order the Clarkson Independence District Library Board of Trustees meeting for January 8th, 2018 at 6 o'clock. We'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. We pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Jan Gaffney. Here. Michelle Yen. Here. Dan Green.
Here.
Mary Himberg. Here. Allison McFadden-Houston.
Here.
Marilyn Pomeroy.
Here.
Ann Rose. Here.
Okay, I'll accept a motion for the approval of the agenda.
I so move. Second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion passes. Call to the public.
Julie Zipowitz on behalf of the Friends of the Library. Just a couple of quick things. You may remember, I think at our last meeting, I mentioned that we had filled one of our two new at-large positions on the Friends Board. Well, we have now filled the second slot, and her name is Darlene Clemenger. So we're excited about that. We're looking forward to some new eyes and ears and input. And then the other thing is I just wanted to mention that our artistic Christina Bowers has created a couple of new bookmarks for us. They haven't been printed yet, but hopefully at our next meeting I can show you. They're going to be a little size like this. But on one side is going to have, like for the spring bookmark, it's going to be on one side a list of the dates for the spring book sale, and then it will also have the Friends meetings on there as well. And on the other side are going to be different examples of some of the winners of the Teen Art Show. And the date for the Teen Art Show will be listed there too, which by the way is March 28th. This year. And then in the fall, the same sort of idea, but on the back side will be some examples of the adult art show. So, and with promoting that event as well. So we're looking forward to that. She's also created some new book sale signs for us that are jazzy. And so I'm looking forward to showing those to you as well. And hopefully they'll catch the eye of potential shoppers. So that's it.
Thank you very much. Very concise.
Does that mean something?
That's a compliment.
I think.
That would be a compliment.
Yes, I think so. We have 5 items on the consent agenda tonight. I'll accept a motion to accept that.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the consent agenda. No one wishes to discuss any item in particular? If so, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, we have in front of us library statistics.
So the first thing, I just have a few notes from the staff. The one note, Bill wanted to let you know that our people counter the battery died for a week. So our visitors is down a little bit because we missed data from a week in December, unfortunately, but that's back up and running. A couple of programs that were pointed out by some of the staff. Lawrence wanted me to highlight that in December they had a Seussified Christmas Carol presented by Clarkson High School Drama Department and sponsored by the Metro Detroit book and author James C. Dance Grant. 98 people attended that, so that was a great event. We also had the Big Chief Chorus Holiday Concert, and we had 60 people at that, so that was nice. So that adds a little bit of color to the very plain statistics you have in front of you. A couple of programs that the Children's Department wanted me to highlight. Rosemary is doing a Travel the Library program, which is for children. It is a passport in which we are encouraging children to read from different genres. And so in their passport, there are 10 different genres. And there will be 5 displays around the library featuring the various genres. And for each one they read, they get a stamp in their passport. And when they're done, they get a really cool button that Christine designed. So we're excited about that. just to keep kids reading this winter. And then Tina wanted me to highlight that she is working on a Lego building contest at the library. The theme is Space Library. It's for contestants from 3 to 12 years old. They use their own Lego bricks and they build an original creation at home. It must be no larger than 12 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches. They need to have it into the library by January 22nd. We will be displaying them in a display case beginning on February 5th. And winners will be announced on February 26th.
Great.
That's coming up, so that should be really fun as well.
Yeah, I'm delightful, you know.
So just some interesting things from the staff that kind of jazz up the part about the statistics a little bit.
All right, excellent. Director's report.
Okay, on general information, after consulting with the library board president, the library did close at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, December 15th due to inclement weather. Project updates. Thanks to the success of our Harwood Community Conversations about Depot Park on behalf of the city, I have been invited to facilitate a similar process in order to help the city council and city residents have a discussion about goals for the coming fiscal year. This will take place at the library on January 29th at 7 p.m. We will also be assisting the city with a community conversation regarding downtown parking on Monday, February 5th at 7 p.m. As a neutral organization that gathers and disseminates information and has a mission of lifelong learning, this is a great opportunity for the library to provide an open forum and a service that promotes productive conversations to solve problems and improve the community for all. So I'm very excited about this. It'll be nice. It'll be good. Other projects, the library's recent projects to update the adult seating area, the space plan for the adult computer lab, and provide additional storage here in the community meeting room are coming to a close. The contractor will be back to do some additional gluing on the carpet tiles covering the electrical lines over in the adult seating area. Due to the very cold temperatures and the dry weather, the adhesives did not set as expected in a few small areas, but it's a minor issue and should be pretty easy to fix, and it's not a tripping hazard or anything, but if you happen to notice that there are a couple of tiles popping up, they are coming back to that. There have been some small adjustments in the computer lab as well. Both of those areas have been well received by the public. The storage in the meeting room has been a real improvement for straightening up the room and making things more efficient for setting up children's programs. So we're very thankful for the completion of those projects. In January, we will be meeting with Library Design Associates to discuss an update to the business area, a small interactive makerspace in the children's department, and the reupholstery of the beloved chair in the Capella alcove that has once again developed a significant hole in the arm that has already been repaired once. So we're going to try and get that fixed. We definitely need to keep the chair. People love that chair, but it definitely needs some TLC. So, other projects, the library's annual state aid report, which is due to the Library of Michigan by February 1st each year, has been submitted and has been included in tonight's board packet for review, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. In terms of finances, the library's audit process usually takes place in late March, but I've spoken to the auditor about doing our field work for our 2017 audit early this year to accommodate staff scheduling, so we're going to be getting on top of that early this year and getting it done. Just an update, the library's next budget process will begin in April. The library board will begin reviewing the budget in June or July with final approval in August or September. I will be working with the library staff to put together a 3-year budget plan for 2019 to 2021 that will incorporate the library's capital improvement plan and the 3-year technology plan. So we're looking further ahead now that we finally kind of have our feet under us and we're feeling really confident about laying out funds. So. And then final collaborations. The 5th annual Shiver by the River program is scheduled to take place on Saturday, January 27th in Depot Park from 1 to 4. This event brings together organizations and businesses throughout the community to provide a free family fun, including ice skating, games, s'mores, chili, cocoa, music, and more. The library provides children's crafts in a warming tent that is sponsored by a community member. So we're looking forward to getting that done.
Excellent, thank you.
So lots of fun things going on.
Okay, now to the regular business, and the first item of business is Trevor's report regarding his marketing conference.
Yes, ma'am. Now, I might not be as concise as Jan.
We'll see, we've allowed time.
I appreciate it. So, as you know, I went to the Marketing and Communication Conference back in November, the week before Thanksgiving, actually. It's something I actually heard about on LinkedIn. The marketing manager at Cattle in Lansing was actually a speaker. I used to work with him at CIDL. And so I got interested, and of course, I was approved by the state of Michigan to actually go. So I haven't got the money yet, but it should, in the end, cost the library nothing. So that's fantastic, because it wouldn't have been possible otherwise. So it's very generous. It's the first time I'd gone. I had really never heard of, like a library communications conference. I didn't know that it existed. I think it's great that it exists because it is very specific to our industry. There's lots of overlap, like in marketing generally, but we all know that libraries are unique. It's not a business, it's not quite a nonprofit, and the things we do are very, so I'm really glad that it exists. So, one of the main things I get out of it is branding. And so, as a library, we have a very unique brand, and we have a very unique and kind of sacred place in our community as a place that people trust, as a place people go to get information, we organize, we disseminate. And we do a lot of good in the community, but it can sometimes be difficult, to measure that in ways that maybe the statistics sheet doesn't really show. Because we know that all those, value-added interactions that we have are really why we exist. People come to us because we have a staff, because it's not Amazon, because we do offer something more. We are not the internet. We don't want to compete with Google necessarily. And so really trying to figure out how we are going to set ourselves apart, and even how CIDL is going to be specific is very important, because that's how people are going to look at us. That's our brand. And so a really simple question, what is our brand? How do we define ourselves? Well, at the conference, this quote was mentioned. We all know that Jeff Bezos is the CEO of Amazon, and he says your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. Now, we often don't know what that comment is, right? I mean, if we're lucky, we have a Google review that is positive, and sometimes not so positive. And so we get an idea, of what people think. But generally speaking, we don't really know, We only get a little bit of anecdotal evidence. But that's really our brand. So we can't share for sure, but even though we can't control what necessarily people say about us, we can control the message that we're putting out there. We want people to know and think very specific things about what we're doing, who we are, what our purpose is. And so this isn't something, obviously, that we can do overnight. I mean, companies spend decades trying to get you to think about certain things when they see their logo, when you see their brand, you purchase their product. So, we started doing this a couple of years ago when you started talking about our new logo. And now, as you see, the logo's on the side of the building, it's inside the building in several places, it's on all the material that you have. And so that's been kind of a first, step, is to try to rebrand ourselves with the new, district library. But that's only one aspect of who we are as a building and who we are as an organization. So how do we do this? How do we try to mold our brand in public? And so this requires both what we say outside and really how we communicate with one another inside to try to get that message across to our staff. Even though we're only a staff of 40-some people, that's not any easier. I mean, because we're all in different departments, and it's very easy to not talk to people in other departments, because it's not necessarily, there isn't necessarily a lot of interaction. I mean, as part of the marketing team, it's a little bit more, well, it's a lot more cross-departmental because it's part of our jobs. So, I really want to highlight one of the speakers. Gina Millsap was the Librarian of the Year a few years ago. She's a CEO of the library in Topeka, Kansas. Awesome leader. I could listen to her talk for an entire day. So just a few things that she really spoke about that really stuck out to me. She really going to hammer, the marketing is everyone's job. And I would be even more specific. I would say that it's everyone's job to be a library advocate. So, while not everybody is a formal marketer or is doing things or, initially behind every product behind every project, it is everyone's job to be an advocate. So, as the board, when you share my post on Facebook, when you talk to some of your friends who maybe aren't library users about what we're doing, you're being really active library advocates. And I see when people do that, and I'm like, yes, that board member is sharing our, and that's even more of a reach, and so I appreciate that. We appreciate that, because I'll take all the likes and shares I can get. And so our staff is our brand. So if our staff is rude in the front desk, we're a rude organization. It doesn't matter that we're all cool people and we're all nice. Like, that person had one negative experience, and it's ruined. we've all had negative experiences at businesses. I had I'm thinking of one, negative experience at a library when I was in library school. And I was just like, man, you're the one person, I'm a library student, and you're the one person who should give me like awesome customer service, and you didn't. And so we really have an awesome opportunity at every level to kind of shape who we are as, as an organization. So this is interesting. I listen to a lot of music when I'm at work if I'm trying to do something, and I just want to kind of not have any outside noise. And I came across this ad, and it's actually a mattress ad. And we all know there's lots of Google ads, and it's just like, I don't usually watch them, they're usually terrible. But for some reason I stopped and I watched this entire Google ad. It's a mattress company, it's a startup, it's just, two relatively young guys talking about their mattress company. And the quote on the screen is one of the things they said. They said, our company, our brand is us. And they're trying to figure out how to market their mattress company. They had a problem with like a buying experience, and they got them thinking about how they could fix it, and this is their business idea. But like a mattress isn't particularly interesting. It's not anything special. You don't have to buy it online. You go talk to someone. And so they realized we are our brand. Like, people might not buy a mattress because they're 100% concerned that this is the best one, but because they find our story compelling. And so that's essentially what we're doing when we're having this interaction. We're trying to tell a compelling story. And it's one of the things Gina said, is focus on experiences, not stuff. I'm not exactly sure what she meant by stuff, because I feel like we're an organization that's full of stuff. I mean, that's our business is stuff. But how I took it was try to keep our priorities straight. Don't let policies get in the way of a positive experience. Don't let the way we do things hinder someone's experience when they're here. Like, if something doesn't work, fix it. Try to make it as easy as possible for our patrons. Well, the phrase "get to yes" is not particularly new. The director at CIDL, that's where I first heard it several years ago, and I thought, oh yeah, that's really simplistic. But it stuck with me, because at the core, if I'm serving customers, isn't that what I want? Like, I don't want to say no. It's really basic, but it has really stuck in my head. Like, I'm trying to help this person do whatever. And if I can't do it, you don't have to say no. There's lots of ways to get around it, or to offer other alternatives. So even that, that really, really simple phrase is something that all of us can have in our minds, from the front desk to the back. And really let that be, sort of a guiding principle. It's so simple, but it's so true. And if you keep that in your head, it's just like, it's so much, it changes the way I think about my interaction with people. So it's really easy for those of us who are in customer service, and there are, like, a lot of us are, whether it's in business with clients, like, it doesn't really matter, you're working with people. It's really easy to have an us and them mentality. Really easy when you work behind the desk, even easier when you work with the public. It can be very easy to be jaded. And it's really not healthy to have that, because you don't know what that person's dealing with when they come in, and again, that one possibly negative interaction can really brand our entire library, and then unknowingly you ruin a lot of other people are trying very hard to do. It's again, how people think about it in a positive light. And transactional interactions, as I mentioned before, people come here for us. Like, if they wanted to buy a book online, they would just buy a book online. But they come here because we're like a neutral, warm, interesting, comfortable place to hang out and talk to people. And also, you learn stuff. So it's a value add, right? And so, if someone wants to chat, if someone wants to tell you a story, like, that's why we're here. We're here to listen. That's one of the things we're here for. So the other thing is build internal relationships. I mean, if we want people as an organization to buy on to, get to yes, or you're responsible for our brand just as much as I am, because actually you're at the front desk a lot more than I am, you have to build that relationship. And so, we have lots of awesome things going on. I mean, we had our PackFest video with Tracy as our spokesman. It went really, really well. We have our team member, Alexa, who won an awesome grant. We have Lawrence, who also won a grant. Like, all of these successes are all of our successes, and we really need to celebrate what our colleagues are doing, because it helps to build that, a sense of trust and comfort between the different departments that may or may not communicate a whole lot, because it's not always involving other departments. Okay, so one of our concepts was to kind of, pull away the marketing curtain. I mean, me and Christina, obviously responsible for the marketing for the library in the park. But for people who don't, work directly with us with a lot of programs, they might not completely understand what we're doing. And so one of the things that I've tried to do since is really talk about what we're doing in a large scale. So like, all the social media posts are on the wall. My cubicle, like I'm sending emails out. We had our constant contact promotion in December to try to increase the number of contacts we had. All these things are trying to get staff to understand that we're really trying to market in like 80 different ways at all times. And it really takes all of us to do that. Like, I can't do this with Christina. We can't do this ourselves because there's just, too many things to do. And so we have talking points where, when we're trying to get people to sign up for constant contact, I tell them that, like, hey, this is what we're doing. Can you work with the certain people to maybe, if someone comes up, to be able to have a conversation and try to make them a little more comfortable to ask them if they would like to receive our emails. If you don't receive our emails, please come talk to me. I would love to send you up. I think you are on board because I've sent you stuff before. But those are really important. Please open those emails because I see the open rates. And the higher they are, the better. Yeah, thank you. So obviously collaboration across departments. We have a marketing committee. The marketing committee in 2017 was really taken over by our website redesign, which is another awesome colleague success because that was really like 25 people working together to make this happen. We did it ourselves. We did not incur costs, really. Like, that's huge. Like, we did it internally, and we did it in less than a year, which is huge. So, and it's like 100% up. And it'll continue to evolve over time. And so in 2018, we're having the marketing committee be a more standard marketing committee again. We're really talking about the things, that we want to do in 2018. So maybe I'll just mention a few of them now. So we're trying to be more content heavy in our promotion. So instead of saying, we have ebooks, you say something more like, are you going on a trip over this holiday? You can not have to carry as many books and you can keep your kids busy in the car. Like, it's not just talking about a product, I think it's in your slide, like it's talking about how it's useful. It's one way of doing content marketing where you're not actually telling someone specifically, you just have this. It's trying to integrate it into what they're doing already, which is how most businesses already try to market their stuff. And so the more we talk about it, I really never thought of a perceived barrier or privilege. Like, I really never thought about that because we're small. I mean, everyone kind of sees what I'm doing. Everyone has, there's a lot of people in the conversations, but I think it can be like, oh, well, this person does this. I don't really know what's going on. The more we talk about it, the more it'll be like, they're doing this. I can feel more comfortable talking about it. And it reinforces that it's everybody's responsibility to be an advocate, not just mine, Christina's and Julie's. All right, so reciprocal collaboration. When Gina spoke, she obviously had a PowerPoint, she had a presentation, and she said, and it actually surprised me, she's a very experienced, library director, been doing it for probably almost 30 years, if not more. And she said that, I went over this entire presentation with my marketing team before I came here. And I thought, there's a lot of really experienced library people who would not necessarily, feel that they needed to go to this other group of people, who work for them to try to see if it matches what they're trying to say to the community. And I thought that was really awesome because it showed that the marketing department is important and that they have different perspectives, that maybe the rest of us don't have. I thought that was really great because, really, marketers should be involved in a lot of different areas because our job is to look at things from a different perspective. It's not just, does this make sense from a librarian point of view? I kind of have to take that hat off and say, is this understandable by the person who's brand new? Because if we're not marketing to the brand new patron, they really don't care about having more patrons that are near us. All of these things should be discussed at times as a group. Because it's very easy if you've been doing a program for 10 years to kind of forget that not everybody understands what your program is about. And so, sometimes Christina and I, for example, can be useful if we need to maybe, update something, change your wording, change your description, that sort of thing. It sounds very simple, but if you're reading something, I think it was Gina who said, program descriptions are promises, which I never thought about before, because it's like, we're telling you we're going to do this. If it doesn't say exactly what you're doing, you really don't know what it's about. Like, we're promising you that we're going to do this. If it doesn't say much, why do I want to come? This is my time. Like, I'm a busy working person with kids. Why do I want to go to the library if I don't really know what's going on? So it's really, really simple again, but it's really important. Yeah, it's really easy to be in a silo, even in a small library with departments who do their own thing, understandably so. But, we can learn from one another. I mean, if the CEO can learn from the marketers, like, the 40 of us who benefit from one another. Yeah, this is really good. I mean, there are really good ideas that come from other departments. Even if the person doesn't have children, or if they only have kids and they don't, work with senior citizens, for example. We all have good ideas. PackPass is a great example, and so that was really a cross-departmental thing. I mean, you see the massive sign right on this wall. It's a big deal. We want our kids to, have access to everything we have to offer. All right, so 2018, one of the things we're doing is going to focus more on data collection. It's something that we, from my understanding, we had done some in the past, but we really want to do more. And so I learned of a program called Crazy Egg, which is a crazy name for a program that essentially monitors where people are clicking and looking on our website. So as you know, our website was just redone. And so today I set up seven what they call snapshots of the different pages. So one for every department, one for the home page, one for PackPass, and we'll be able to see how many people click on it. And there's like a million other things that I don't have time to share. But it really shows us how the website is working, if we need to change things. If people come in and say, I can't find something, that's all information that we need to know. And so, the next, 6 months to a year, we'll see the feedback and we'll make changes accordingly. And it won't just be, well, I feel like this isn't right. It'll be, well, no one's clicked on this. Either doesn't need to go away, or do we need to move it?
Data-driven decision-making.
Exactly. I mean, along with the Google Analytics, which I know Bill has changed a little bit, so it's doing more now from what he told me. And so that and Crazy Egg will hopefully be able to get, like some idea what's happening. And so currently what we're using is actually quite a lot. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So we also have a Nextdoor account. Maybe you use Nextdoor in your neighborhoods. It's kind of like a neighborhood app for you to talk to people in your neighborhood. I have it for my house, and I also have the library account. So if I want to put like a program out, I actually can narrow it to people literally in our neighborhood who might not be library users, but who live really close to us, who should be library users. And of course, we already manage it with Hootsuite. That's I schedule a lot of stuff because I can't be here all the time to schedule everything I want. So that's kind of what we're using now. And as you said, we're going to be data-driven, and if we have to change anything, we can rationalize it. And as Marilyn said. All right, so that's internal. But, externally, we need to be explicit with branding. So I pay attention to commercials a lot. Ever since I got this job, I'm like, oh, that's a really good commercial. I feel something that's good, that's bad, that, sort of thing. And so, I'm really interested in how people feel when they view something that we do. So the example is the Barclays. Have any of you seen any Subaru ads lately where they have a family of golden retrievers who's essentially driving the car? It's like the Barclays. So they actually use it even in their, when they get out of the car, they have this group of dogs that comes out of the car because that's, So what do you feel when you see a group of dogs driving a car? You feel good. Everyone knows that we're obsessed with pets in this building. So it's you can't go wrong with pets. And they know that because everyone watches pet videos. And so they put it in the car. It's brilliant. It's super easy, but you feel good. You feel this brand is family friendly, that they like dogs. All those things that people like, they just said, oh, let's just put that in a car commercial. And it seems so simple, but someone thought of it. And it hadn't probably been done before. So I'm really concerned with how do people feel? And so if you feel good, you have this goodwill. Even if you don't actually buy the product or use the product all the time, you feel good about it. But it can be eroded in a second, so you have to be super careful. Everyone has a bad day, but as I said, all people feel good. about us and what we're doing. And so one of our projects in 2018 is a series of videos. So loosely, it's going to be content marketing. We're essentially telling people something, but we're not asking them to take action. We're not saying, we're a library, use this. We're just saying, we're a library, and then we have a video. And so for 2018, the videos are essentially going to be testimonials for different demographic groups. The one that we're working on now is the business one. And you see I want to also have one for parents, teens, and senior citizens, and hopefully we're going to get the superintendent to do one as well. And so what it's going to be is people talking to us about how they feel about the library, how they use the library, do they trust the library, what do you think the benefits of the library are? All the things that we hear, because we're in the building, we're talking to people, but we don't get to capture that very often, right? And who better to tell, our story, to brand us, than our users? And so we contracted with Kevin Smith from ITV, who's going to be producing them, filming them, but they're going to be ours. Ours to use, to use however we choose. But they're going to be used probably toward the middle, end of the year and into next year. These will be good videos, not just for the short term, but for the long term. We all know that goodwill is something that, we need from time to time when we're looking for community support. And so we're probably going to get more than 5 videos, because I have probably 6 or 8 businesses that are going to do this right now. And so, we could get like a minute and a half, 2, and then maybe a couple 30-second spots that we can use over time. Letting the community know that, hey, our users like us, and if you hadn't thought about us that way, we're going to have this video that kind of share with you, how other people feel. And they're going to be feel-good videos. We want people to feel good. And to know what we're doing, because it's honest, it's in their own words. And so that's another project that I'm excited about for 2018. Oops, oh, what?
Fireworks at the end.
All right, so as I said, we're going to talk benefits, not products. This is what I really want to move to, is more content. So that we have ebooks, we say something like 5 ways to keep your kids busy during the holiday break, and then we have our visual things. So we use this via constant contact and social platforms. In December, we had a staff promotion and increased our constant contacts by 11%. And we had prizes, and that was really good. Like, it got people involved. It's really important that people are thinking about us when they're not here. And they do that by us, either doing social media posts or constant contacts. As I said, we did this last month. The welcome email is something we're going to change. When people sign up, they get a welcome email. And at the conference and actually at another workshop, I was told that email is the most highly opened email, most often. That welcome email, right after you sign up for something, you open the first one that you get the most. And so, who do I want to be in that email? Julie, with her face and a welcome. Gives my identity immediately to the library. So that's something else I want to change. More people, thinking about us, the better. I mean, that's what all the retailers, all those emails that you get, because companies want to keep reminding you, hey, we're here, use us. So the easiest up to market is what people are willing to pay for. This is a Hoopla, Overdrive, Zinio, all that stuff. We still meet people all the time that go, oh, I didn't know you did that. I'm like, stop buying books on Amazon. Stop having a subscription to Audible. Like, you don't need it. You can get it if you want, but you want to save money, come here. That's the easiest. We're going to start talking more in programs about all the other things we're doing to really cross-promote. And this is one thing that I think, one of many things I think we're really, really good at is our community collaborations. We have ties all over the place because of all the awesome things that every department is doing. And so we're obviously going to keep that up because that's like a huge strength. So it's another way to build a lot of goodwill in the community. That's all I have. It was an awesome conference. I got a lot from it, and Christina and I are super excited for 2018. There's lots of good stuff going.
Thank you.
That's a great presentation. Thank you.
I took notes. Actually, very concise.
Okay, if you say so. If you say so.
Succinct. Thank you. That was very clear. Good idea. About how many people were there?
Oh, 300. I don't know. It was a lot. It was full. They had to have 3 hotels. because the first and second one filled up. So it was a lot, it was a lot. Yeah, I actually,
Network.
I sat next to the assistant director from Bloomfield Township, and there was someone from Closter. Yeah, so there were even some Michigan people there that I would have not met otherwise, so it was great.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
We look forward to hearing about some of these as they come to fruition.
Absolutely.
Next item of business, our yearly election of officers. So let us move to nominations.
Well, I move that we retain the current slate of officers as they currently.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we maintain the current slate of officers who are all willing to serve a further term. So we'll make this quick. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. You have the current slate still there. Everyone, the nicest thing about this board is that we have a group of elected officers, but everyone on the board serves in some capacity, in subgroups, and other involvement in the staffing and on the board. So we're very pleased with all of our participants.
Oh, yes.
Okay, number 3, the state aid report.
Okay, public libraries in Michigan are formally established under state law and must file a report with the Library of Michigan each year in order to maintain their certification. The certification verifies the library's eligibility for state aid funds, penal fine money, and governmental grants. The filing season begins in October and has an electronic filing deadline of February 1st of 2018. Within your packet, you'll find the state aid report that was submitted for this year. Because the library has a different fiscal year than the state of Michigan, we're January to December versus the state's October to September. The report that was just submitted covers January 1st to December 31st of 2016, so last year's data, not this past year's data. In past years, the report included the data being filed, as well as the previous year's data. This made the report very informative, but also long and difficult to read due to small print. This year, the state data coordinator at the Library of Michigan was able to correct the template to print out the report, making it easier to read, but it no longer includes the previous year's data. So he also provided our board with a comparative report for 2015 and 2016 data, which in your packet is 8.5 by 11, but at your place is 8.5 by 14. So, I mean, you can kind of go through and you can look at the various things, but the comparative data is a little interesting, and there's a couple of things that I wanted to highlight. On page 2 of that 3-page comparative data report, our virtual visits to the library's website between 2015 and 2016 was up just over 14%. The number of children that signed up for our summer reading program was up almost 16%. The number of children who completed our summer reading program in the summer of 2016 was up 156%.
Wow.
The number of teens that signed up for our summer reading program was up 168%. The number of teens that completed the program was up 229%.
Wow.
So total participation in our summer reading program overall was up 40%.
Okay, to what do we attribute this?
We really decided that we were going to put our heart and souls into summer reading, and that we were going to, because it is so important. Because we do feel strongly that what we do in the summertime is helping kids prepare for the next school year, and by keeping their reading skills up during the summer is really critical. And so when we say complete, that means that we have set goals for these kids, what they should read over the course of the summer, and we award them prizes for completing those goals. So when I say complete a program, they have reached those reading goals that we set for them.
This is a total library effort, not just one.
This is everybody's effort. It would be the children's department and the teen department, but then the total participation also includes our adult programming as well. Because we do keep adults reading in summertime as well.
So maybe we use some marketing skills to probably do.
I think we did, and I bet next year will be even better. I know we will. Okay, so overall children's programming, and this would be the non-summer reading programming that we do for kids, that was up 27%. Teen program attendance was up almost 27%. Adult program attendance was up over 10%. In terms of materials, the circulation of children's materials was up over 14%. And the circulation of non-children's materials, so everything else in the building that is not children's materials, was up over 22%. So we're seeing a lot of growth in the usage of the library. And then to make sure we don't miss out on some of the technology things, our use of wireless within the building was up over 17%. So we're seeing a lot of growth within the library. And this was 2016 to 2015, and I'm really excited that I'm pulling the data 2017 that will be submitting between October and December of this coming year, and I'm hoping to see growth again. So. Any questions about the state aid report?
Thank you for putting this on the.
Yeah, it does help.
Well, thank you to Joe Hanlon at the Library of Michigan for creating this comparative data. I called him up and I said, I was trying to print it out, and I said, my board commented that the print is really, really small. And he said, oh, I fixed the template, this is how you do it. I said, okay, so I printed it out, and I said, well, now it doesn't have 2 years data. He goes, I'll fix that for you. And he immediately emailed me this report that he had done just for us. So I thought that was really nice of him to do that. So thank you, Library of Michigan.
It's a really good way to see it.
Well, it is a good way to see it, and, I mean,
It is.
we can have a feeling that things are going well,
Right.
or we can have hard data that shows that it is.
Absolutely.
And you also can see, oh, that one's down a little bit. Maybe we need to work a little bit on this area. So it helps, I think, in goal setting to see real numbers.
And to have the opportunity to compare them to something else. Because if I had just shown you the state aid report for this year, you would have looked at it and said, oh, well, that's nice.
That's nice, yeah.
So I'm curious to be able to say that we've seen growth between 2015 and
Yeah.
and 2016, and I'm hoping to see growth in between 2015 and 2017 as well.
Thank you. We always like to see positive numbers, right?
Yes, we do.
All right, number 4, more travel, this time for Julie.
Okay, well, I don't have a grant, so let me tell you about what I found. In an email from the Library of Michigan, which I did attach in your packet, it has come to my attention that there is a unique opportunity to attend a conference that is aptly timed to fit with our 2018 goals. The Research Institute for Public Libraries in Atlanta, Georgia, taking place on July 29th through August 1st, has the vision to create a culture shift in public libraries to be purposeful in gathering, analyzing, and using data for decision-making, strategic planning, and demonstrating impact. RIPL will educate change agents who will go back to their libraries with the tools, competencies, and commitment to lead evidence-based practice and a network of colleagues for future learning and success. I believe this conference, in conjunction with our Harwood training, will be an opportunity to reinvigorate our strategic planning process, as well as provide an opportunity for me to build our libraries network at the national level, both goals for 2018. The conference cost is $1,200, including the curriculum, 3 nights lodging and most meals. The round-trip estimated flight is about $490, and I do have documentation in your packet. Because participation is limited to 110 attendees, there is a possibility that I will not be able to secure a seat, as previous RIPL conferences sold out in minutes. However, if approved, I have marked my calendar and can log in when the registration opens on January 17th at 1 p.m. What they recommend for the Library of Michigan is you log in as soon as it opens.
Right now.
Right now. It was township practice and is still library policy to provide a budget for the professional development of the staff, with the stipulation that all out-of-state travel must be reviewed and approved by the board. The library has a budget for conferences and workshops. In 2017, we did not expend the entire budgeted amount due to grant funding of some of our professional development opportunities. Thank you very much, Trevor. So an additional conference this year, even including a flight cost, should not be a financial burden. So I do have the conference information in here for you to look at. And it really is about designing outcome-based evaluation of our programs and services, assessing needs within our community, which is really what Harwood is about, but this is a more sort of a data-driven way of doing it. Techniques for tracking public library data and using this data for planning, management, and demonstrating the library's work, and then using data and stories to document the impact of your libraries. So this is all things that we're already kind of working on. Obviously, Trevor's got a background in it from this previous conference, which is why I think this ties in so well, because it's going to get me on the same page that they're already on as well. So.
And you found a flight from Flint. Good for you.
And I did find a flight from Flint. Yes.
We always like to go to Flint.
Yeah, so it is closer to where I live, so.
And nonstop.
And nonstop. Yes, I was pretty proud of that.
Yes,
So,
right.
So anyway, any questions about that?
Sounds
great opportunity.
Sounds good. It meets our strategic goals,
Right.
and we are data-driven, so.
Yeah,
That's our goal.
absolutely. I mean, it covers some of the things that we discussed in the evaluation process, like exactly covers some of the things that we talked about and some of the goals that we set, so I think it's
It
great.
fits so well in terms of measurement of things that Trevor was just talking about, that it gives us that opportunity.
Well, and we've struggled with that. We did that several years ago. We did that
Absolutely.
survey, and we sat here in this room for, felt like weeks on end. You were on that committee, weren't you, Marilyn?
Yes.
We sat here and we went over all of that stuff, but then finalizing it and moving forward with it was really more than we were prepared to do. And so something like this should be a big help in getting that information so that we can make sure that we're doing what it is that the community wants us to be doing.
And I think we're in a place now where we're really poised to put it into action as well. So I think that's really great. And when we did that data collection those years ago, one of the things that we really struggled with was we got a lot of information about the things we were already doing. People were saying, oh, well, you should do book groups and story time, and that's all great, those are things we were doing, and we did walk away with the knowledge of needing to market more, and we are delivering that. But now what we want to do is start talking to the community more about need, and where are the gaps, the things that we should be filling in, and doing that strategically and with data, and being very purposeful in the way we do things and the spending that we do.
Right. So we like making decisions based on data, because then we can have a defense or a discussion of how we came to our decisions. So we like that.
So I would move that we approve Julie's attendance at this conference.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve Julie's attendance at this conference in July. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Hopefully it won't be too hot.
The first thing my husband said when I said, Atlanta, in Georgia, in July, are you sure? It's a good conference, he's like, okay.
She'll stay indoors.
So you know I'm serious, because I sunburn really easily, so I'll be inside the conference.
All right. Okay.
So January 17th, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we know what time I can.
Like it'll be ready.
Yeah, that's right.
That button did. Well, hopefully that will work out.
I hope so. I think
It really does tie in very well with what we've talked about.
timing's perfect.
All right, I will accept a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is accepted, and we are adjourned at, I can't see the clock, 6:48? 6:48?
Yeah.
6:48. Excellent, thank you.